Hi there, and welcome to my channel, the always evolving channel, the always work in progress channel. That's how I'm seeing it now. And also the channel that is really dedicated to talking, having conversations with everyday people, just like you and me. Those of us are just kind of navigating or trying to navigate through everyday life. In other words, not people that have written books or have retreats or that type of thing, but I'm talking just about, regular folks that are going to work every day, raising families, maybe retired, all across the board, but just regular folks. And why I think this is important is because I think at this time, as we are all going through this evolutionary process, that the sharing of our everyday life, everyday stories is what's going to help each other, because somebody's going to hear your story, a challenge, a success, is something that happened, and they're going to relate to that, and that's going to help them. And it's like a chain reaction. We start helping one another rather than trying to succeed to a certain place or find a certain way to do things. It's just everyday stuff, everyday stuff that can help each of us. So I'm looking to have conversations with people like you and me. And if this idea appeals to you, then I want you to look below the video, because there is my contact information, and click on it, and let's see how we can take this or make this happen. Okay. So today what I want to talk about is this whole idea of going within. It's so important today, and it's not something that we've really, as just a whole species, spent a lot of time on. Obviously, there's a lot of meditators out there. Meditation is a going within, but not everybody resonates with meditating. So there's a whole lot of other ways to go within besides just meditation. Or if you are a meditator, there's always ways to deepen the meditation practice. Why I'm bringing this up is because I think that I'm hearing more and more, and probably you are too, about the fact that the outer world, the external world, can really be a distraction and keep us away from the focus that we need to have during this evolutionary process. And that focus is to work within, to really work within so that we can release all of the beliefs and programming and ways of responding to things that are negative. All of those ways need to be released so that we can move on to the next level. And that's going to help it happen strictly through the work we can do, the inner work. So first of all, what does it mean, inner work? Well, we've already touched on meditation. That's inner work. But that's usually going to a space where that can feel wonderful and be blissful and etc. But there's another way to go within, and that is to use your awareness to become noticing when you are having an outer world experience, such as, let's say, anger. If you can become aware of that before you get lost in the whole story of why you're angry, who you're angry at, and blah, blah, blah. But if you can begin to just all of a sudden notice, oh, I'm feeling angry. Okay, I want to go within and see what this is about. You can catch yourself, grab yourself before you are off and running. And then that's inner work. So you have inner work where you're saying, oh, where is this anger coming from? What is going on? And you got to give up that outer world experience for the moment and just say, okay, this is what anger feels like. But I'm not the anger. I'm not somebody that's angry. I'm observing the anger. And that's the key. Being the observer and the witness of what is going on within you. And as you do this, you will be amazed at the insight and the aha moments you can get from just that. Now, I say just that because, Yeah, listen, easier said than done. It just takes practice because most of us haven't had training in this. So it's practice and it's needed very much today. And so, two things it requires: one, that we're not spaced out all the time, and that we can make an intention every day to be aware of what's going on within us, a feeling, an experience, even exhaustion, whatever it is, become aware. And then don't try to get rid of it. If it's tired or let's use exhaustion actually. Rather than say, I need caffeine, let it be there for long enough for you to at least go within and kind of explore where is this, why am I exhausted, or what is this about, this exhaustion. Now you could say you didn't sleep last night because your baby was up all night, all those things. I'm not looking for those answers. I'm looking to go within about exhaustion, not wanting to get rid of it. And here's why. These things now, these feelings are coming up very, very strong. And the reason they're coming up very strong is because we need to release and let go all of the traumas, wounds, challenging situations that are stored within our body. They're there. They're stored within our body. For a lot of reasons, we couldn't deal with them at the time they happened. They were just overwhelming. It just became a way of dealing with emotions. Whatever. We've all got these stored traumas, emotions, wounds. We've got them stored in our body. And since this evolution is about the body, because it is, in other words, the body needs to evolve, we need to release these things that are stored, these traumas, in order to be able to move to a higher vibration. That's it. So you may notice, most of us that are kind of into this have been noticing, because it's hard not to, that you are feeling stronger emotions than you ever have. They may be the same emotions. Maybe you are a person that feels a lot of anger, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, whatever it is, but these emotions, these feelings are coming up in a much stronger way than they have in the past. Or maybe they're not, but you're having them, the experience more often. The point is these feelings are appearing stronger and coming up more often because we need to look at them. We need to be able to allow them to be there so that we're just witnessing them, kind of like, when you watch a movie, a really good movie, and you feel the emotion. Maybe you cry. Maybe it's a movie where there's a lot of sadness, and so you're crying and you're feeling that emotion inside of you. Or fear, a lot of fear could be where you feel that strong sense of fear, anxiety, whatever it is. When we're watching a movie, we know that we can feel the experience. We don't just watch with no reaction. We're feeling it. That's why we can cry or scream or whatever we're doing in a movie, depending on the movie. That's the same idea. Is you want to be able to feel the emotion, but to recognize that you're feeling it from your higher self. And your higher self is the witness. It's the one that's actually observing what's going on out there. Let's call it the anger. But your higher self is not the anger. The anger is just happening. And the higher self is witnessing. So you, higher self, are not the anger, but there is an experience of it. And as we begin to take notice of it, what we want to do is allow it to be there. Just allow it without judgment, without wanting to get rid of it. Granted, it's uncomfortable. It can be very, very uncomfortable. However, the more often we can do this, the more able we are to be with that discomfort. So we're letting it be there. And then what happens by just letting it be there, feeling it, but not trying to get rid of it, not trying to justify it, don't judge it in any way, then we can release it. It releases. That's how this whole thing's working now. So that all of these challenges, we can call them, these feelings, and maybe you're having more happen in the outer world that are now triggering certain feelings more often. It doesn't matter how it's happening, it's happening. And there is a reason for it to happen, and that is so we can become aware and release. That's it. I mean, it's simple, but it's not, you know? It takes courage. It takes a willingness to be able to allow this. However, it's absolutely most important now than ever before that we do this, and that we don't get caught up in the story. We don't get caught up in the outer world being able to distract us from what we really need to be doing. So again, this takes practice. It's something that you can't just do once or twice and say, oh, got it, it's fine. No, it actually takes doing it over and over again. And we're going to fail more than we're going to succeed. At least that's been my experience so far. However, once we can succeed at even one time getting this to happen, and the same energy is going to come up, or the emotion, more than one time. So if it's anger, it's going to come up again, or if it's sadness or whatever it is, it doesn't leave in just one time because it's stored deeply in the body. But each time that we can allow it to be there until it just isn't there. And it's not like it's going to take days. It may take some hours or half a day. I don't. Everybody's a little different and unique in how they their body deals with this. But if you can recognize what's going on, it makes it so much easier, because you'll say, okay, I'm really feeling this. I don't like feeling this. A lot of resistance, when you're in resistance to something. I had this happen the other night where I had major resistance going on about this thing. And I've had major resistance going on, and I'm still dealing with it. And it feels so uncomfortable. And physically, my solar plexus, it was like I could physically feel how uncomfortable this was, but I allowed it to be there without the judgment. I mean, I would go into judgment sometimes, but I'd bring myself right back and allow it to be there. And then finally, at some point, it was released. Now, that doesn't mean forever. It's going to come back. The interesting thing, though, oftentimes as it begins to come back, the same experience or the same, let's say, emotion or resistance that you have going on, it's not always as strong. It weakens in a way. It can weaken. So that's a helpful note to notice as well. So, why am I speaking about this? And I'm going to continue to, is because it's the only way we're going to get out of here the way we should, successfully. And it takes every one of us to do this. It really does. If we're on this planet right now, we are here to participate in this evolutionary process. If you don't believe in it, you're probably not even, this video, this whole channel, you wouldn't even resonate with it. So I strongly believe that whoever is along these lines and can resonate with what I'm talking about, then you're here. And then you're going to be capable and able to begin to release, because each one of us have this storehouse. I talked about all these storage units the other day of the traumas and dramas and pains and wounds and and programming and the whole thing that's stored in this body. It's a lot. And so it takes each and every one of us to begin to release, so that we become lighter and that the body can then evolve to where it needs to get to, so that we move beyond this 3D, the third dimension. That's where we're headed, beyond it. So it's an inner job. It's an inner world right now. And anything outside in the external world is only going to be should only be a trigger to bring up whatever needs to be brought up and released. And through all this, it's like the body knows. The body knows that these things need to be released. The body's extremely intelligent. It really is. And so it is allowing also these emotions and feelings and, the hidden energies in the body. It knows to begin to allow these to come up. A lot of us are even feeling, just physical pain right now. You may be having backaches or, digestive problems. There's a lot of ways that this energy shows up. And for a lot of us, it can be showing up right now just in physical discomfort. Again, the body is really having to go through a lot. And because there's a part of us in the body, meaning, we're spirit having a human experience. So the spirit is in the body, and we are having this human experience of the body really having to go through this transition. So you really want to give your body a lot of love and care. This is maybe the whole part of, being kind to ourselves, have compassion, because the body really is, well, let's just put it this way. There's a big challenge right now for the body, all our bodies, to move beyond where we've been. And that beyond is going to be so much of a incredible experience on a whole different level. But we don't need to look at that right now. We need to look at what is. So being in the moment of noticing what's going on, practice, practice, practice. That's what it takes. Try to find ways to keep yourself aware all during the day, the night, whatever. And yes, I know it's a tall order, particularly for those of you that, have absolutely more on your plate than you can even handle as it is. But if we weren't ready for it, it wouldn't be happening. So even with that, try to reprioritize maybe some of the things to help yourself have a little more energy or time or breathing space, so that you can also allow these things, these feelings, emotions to come forward so they can be released. So that's what we're up against right now. And we're going to be up against that for a while, because I don't know how long, but definitely for a while. Because this is the way the body is going to be able to move into this newer level, into a higher vibration. And we need to help it. And, as long as we're all here in bodies, which we are right now, and if we are on the planet right now in a body, this is what's required. So I support all of us in this, myself included. I know it's easier said than done, but it's got to be done. And so just make that commitment to yourself, and you're making it also to mankind, we could say, right? Okay. I don't want to beat this to death, even though I know it's extremely important, and I know it's not easy, but I got to keep talking about it because this is what we have to do. So just as an ending part to this is to remember you, higher self, that's who you are, your higher self, is not the trauma. You are not the emotion. You are not the wound, but you are here experiencing the trauma, the wound, the anger, the hurt, the whatever it is. And it can't harm you. It absolutely can't harm you. There's a lesson in the Course in Miracles. I think it says that nothing real can be harmed and nothing unreal exists. Yeah, nothing real can be harmed. Well, your higher self is real. Can't be harmed by experiencing this. And then by experiencing this, you allow the body to release it, which is exactly what has to happen. So you're a big part of this evolution. We play a huge part. Without us, it's not going to happen, right? So we got to do it. We just got to do it. Okay, I'm done with my sermon today. I do want to remind you, if I could, to please click like if you like the video, subscribe, And don't forget, if you have an interest in having a conversation with me about your stories of your everyday life, then just click that link below that is the connect how to connect with me, and we'll take it from there. But in the meantime, well, I want to say awake or stay aware during the day. Focus on what's going on with you. Give yourself compassion, all the kindness that you can, because this body's going through a lot right now, and we want to be able to support it through our compassion and our kindness and our love. That's what we really need to do. That's extremely important right now. However, until next time, again, be kind, take care of yourself, and we'll see you very soon. And again, I got this clicker thing, and we'll see what happens if I can click off in one time.